Hello everyone, and welcome to another beer review. Now, as you can see, we're a bit of a different kind of angle and elevation. Just part of the changes, courtesy of the wife. And you can see the guitar's gone. Got a pair of bongos up there now. Anyway, it's a Wednesday video. Well, maybe I'm a wee bit being unfair, maybe, if I'm saying it's a Wednesday video, but it's a lager, so at the end of the day, that's why I put it there. So if anybody gets offended, oh, that's a good beer, it might be, but it's a lager, not an ale, so it's already down the kind of pecking orders and whether I like it or not, you know what I mean? So yes, so today we're doing a Polish beer, and we're doing Tyske. You know what I mean? So yes, we're doing Tyske. It's a Polish beer, lager, 650ml bottle. What's the alcohol content? Oh Jesus, why do they make it so bloody small for me? For goodness sake, do you not realise I'm blind? For God's sake. I can't even fucking read that, seriously. They're ripping the piss. It says it's 5, I think it's 5%. I'll confirm it down below, but I think it's 5%. Jesus, it's so fucking small. I'm sure that's 5%. But anyway, that's what we're doing. There's no real spiel about it. And the whiskey of choice today, whether or not we need it, I need to finish the bottle. So again, if there's any Polish out there that are getting offended, or other people, but this is their favourite beer, and suck it up, buttercup. At the end of the day, I've got an agenda, alright? And the agenda is, I can't replace this unless I've finished it. There's a space right up there for it. So I need to finish the spit that's in the bottle so I can then basically buy a new one. So I might as well get this poured right now. Now you're probably sitting there thinking, I thought we were supposed to be doing the non-alcoholic stuff. Well, let's just say we've got a wee bit of an issue with that, especially with me making my own one. Everything was going well, everything's gone really well, apart from when I went to carbonate it, it then basically told me that my big gas canister, that 60 litre gas canister, is run out. So I've had to order another one, and it's not going to be coming for a couple of days. So I couldn't carbonate it. I thought, well, there's no point in doing it unless I'm carbonating it and doing it properly. So it's going to be next Wednesday. In other words, a week when this video comes out. But anyway, and I've got other ones, I've collected other ones, but I have got some other beers as well coming up, which is kind of interesting. Yes. But anyway, got that poured, lovely. So we get this poured, because that's what we're here for. See that now, see? Prepared. It's almost professional. God knows what this is going to look like in the video when I've got these type of things sticking at the back of my head there, because it looks like, what's he got sticking at the top of his head? Oh, he's got a pair of bongos. Oh, I always thought he'd. Anyway, a bit of a dickhead. No, I said bongos. Alright, okay. Right. Going, oh, geez, a bit of cabbage coming off that. Okay. Jesus. While we're moving the stuff about, I've got some beers kind of sitting about in multi-packs, because I had to buy multi-packs to actually get one beer. That's all I need, you know, but it's all these ones where you've got to suffer. And the wife was moving some of these things out the way because of rearranging the furniture and getting rid of furniture and bringing new furniture in and everything else. And yeah, I can understand now why my beer is exploding on me when I open it. She fucking drops everything, seriously. And she manages to drop a multi-pack in a certain way where you can, she manages to kind of shake up every bloody bottle. You know, not one bottle is missed, you know what I mean, the way she drops them. It's art form, it really is. It's a tremendous skill. Anyway, still think They'll think she's also doing it purposely when it's in the fridge as well. Right, let's get this poured. I'm trying to remember if I've ever had this. I honestly can't remember. Oh, Jesus, there is quite a smell of cabbage off this. Lovely. I'll let that kind of settle just now, actually. So, I've even got a coaster. Look at them. Look, coasters now. Let's see that. There you go. Eh? Civilised beings up in Scotland, so we are. Oh, right, bollocks. We're still animals. Alright. Right. Let's see if it's smelling any better now. A wee bit better now. Grain. Getting a little kind of slight hoppiness at the back end, but mostly grain. Maybe a hint of malt, but it's mostly kind of grain I'm getting. Right, let's see what it tastes like. Not really bags of flavour, I'll be totally honest. There's nothing really at the back end. Maybe a little kind of ever so slight honey tones in the mid tongue. But in all honesty, just a kind of easy drinking lager. And with the grain, I'm getting a slight flavour in the grain that I don't know, it could be rice, it could be something, you know what I mean, but it's got a slightly kind of off grain flavour that reminds me of that it could be rice or it could be something else, but there's something that's slightly awry with the grain that's just not quite the norm. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I'm just saying but yeah, overall it's alright, it's fine. Right, I think we'd already did this one anyway. It's the Banked Hall British Single Malt Whisky. We've already kind of done it and kind of reviewed it, but I just need to finish it. So. It's actually not bad, not so it isn't, but it's quite good. At least start filling up. We've got these ones as well coming. Nucky Thompson. They've actually made a Scottish whisky after a fictional character from the Broadwalk Empire. Nucky being a kind of a nickname for people called Enoch. So you could have Nucky Powell. So you could have. But yeah, so yeah, let's name a Scotch whisky after a fictional American character that's actually derived from a kind of a American politician. So there you go, that's wonderful, isn't it? And apparently distilled and aged in Scotland, blended of malt and grain. There's a peel off bit in the label, that could be quite interesting as well. There was anything on there, but yeah. So apparently they're claiming it's blended Scotch whisky from Scotland. Utter pish. And then we've got Steersman, original crafted bourbon whisky made with the finest quality corn. New Steersman is the epitome of lavishness and quality drinking. It just shows you that even if it's another language, that they can still get to that same level of fucking piss and nonsense as the natives, you know what I mean? You'd almost believe that was American or basically from the West, just with the willy pish on the bottle. It's amazing that. But yes, this is a 40% volume bourbon. Matured in the finest oak barrels, ensuring perfectly balanced flavours. Traditional American recipe. Aye, a load of pish. But the Americans mass scrotum. But yeah, I'll read more of it. I'll need to get a bloody magnifying glass. I'll make sure so when we do them in the next couple of... Although I won't do a whiskey when I'm doing the non-alcoholic, because it's non-alcoholic, you know. You know. Be wrong, wouldn't it? But you look forward to them. I've got a couple of kind of stouts coming up as well. From Scotland, unfortunately, but potentially there could be one's an imperial stout, 7.5%, you know, so potentially could be quite nice. Potentially could be something to look forward to. Although what I would say is every time I look forward to a whiskey from Scotland, I usually get disappointed. So I do. Marvellous. But yeah, so what do you like? What do you think of the setup? Is it any better? Does it, me being higher up off the floor, make a big difference? Does it improve things? Me having a couple of bongos kind of dangling behind me, looks like they're kind of growing at the top of my head. Does that kind of do it for you? You know, seriously. Problem is you can't see what's behind the camera. It's a Jesus. It's a bomb site right now. We've been building furniture all bloody day, and then over there I was building furniture that's all now basically set up and in position. So yeah, my bank balance is getting lighter. Well, lighter than my waistline anyway. So these are strain glasses. It's to catch your top lip, because they're just on the inside. They're just, it's quite. I'm not saying it's a sharp edge, but there's a bit of an edge, and it catches you every time. Kind of strange glasses. But anyway, should we break down these flavours? Oh, that's not bad to drink that. Not bad. A little bit of light malt at the start, bit of sweetness, bit of grain. Quite a good, honest, steady start. Not a wonderful, groundbreaking start, but I just find that all the flavours at the front of the mouth all seem to be connected, all seem to kind of balance each other out, and the intensity is just at a nice level. I'm not saying it's overly strong and in your face, and I'm not saying it's weak or light. It's just nice. For a lager, I would say this is just about right. You know, let's be totally honest. And yeah, it's fine. No groundbreaking flavours, but what's there is doing the job and working fine. Excuse me. Move on to the mid-tongue, and you're getting basically the repeat of the front of the mouth. It doesn't really kind of dissipate so much. I think the flavours kind of hold themselves. You just start getting little other accent flavours coming in, and the two flavours I'm getting is just a slight honey tone to that sweetness. As always, if that sweetness just slightly develops a bit more and you just get a little bit of honey tone. And also you just start getting a slightly kind of additional slight kind of grain flavour, and it just kind of, I don't know, it just reminds me of rice. It might not be rice or whatever, I honestly really don't know what the recipe is, but there's an additional grain flavour there. And I'm not saying it's a bad flavour, but it's just something a little bit kind of off the norm from what you would expect from this type of beer. And it's not unpleasant, it's just something a bit different that I wasn't kind of expecting. But yeah, it's fine, it's just something else. But there is a little honey toast, it's quite nice. Moves to the kind of back of the mid-tongue, moving on to the kind of back of the mouth and the aftertaste. And everything just kind of dissipates quite quickly. There's no kind of bitterness, there's no real change from the transition from the mid-tongue to the back of the mouth. And everything just kind of stays the same, and things just kind of, it's quite a clean finish. Everything just dissipates quite quickly and quite clean, all kind of together. There's no flavour that kind of lingers a bit longer than anything else. So yeah, it's quite a fast, clean finish. which again is fine. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, you know, in any way, shape or form. Overall, it's actually quite a nice beer. I'll be totally honest, it's actually quite a nice beer. For what it is, it's a lager. I'm not saying it's not bags of flavour, there's not any kind of wonderful flavours, but what flavours are there are kind of nice and presentable, you know. I mean, compared to your mainstream piss waters, I'd rather have a bottle of this, I'll be totally honest, but let's be totally honest. I'd rather have a bottle of most things rather than mainstream piss waters, you know what I mean? So, is that really much of an endorsement? You know, well, yeah, he doesn't like the mainstream piss waters, so hey, he'd rather have a bottle of that. Doesn't really say much, but overall, if you look at it, quite a few of the kind of British lagers, I would say yes, I would say it's kind of better than most British lagers, I would say, just because they've got the balance right and the flavour profiles that are there are nice, you know what I mean? It's just nice flavours profiles, nothing brilliant, nothing untoward. And this is the thing that gets me when you look at kind of British lagers. Keep it simple and get the balance right, and actually, you know, the flavours, you know, it's light enough anyway, so pick flavours that are going to work, pick flavours that are going to be, you know, nice, enjoyable, that type of thing. But it's just that kind of thing that I find is madness, is that you look at these kind of British lagers and the amount of time of even breweries that could actually produce a decent ale, and then they go and do a lager and you think, what the fuck happened? I mean, Jesus, you know what I mean? It's not difficult, it really isn't, you know. And this, it's doesn't have to be bags of flavour, doesn't have to have special flavours, it just needs to be consistent from front to back. Now you can have a bit of more of a dry finish, slightly acidic back end to give it more of a dry finish, or you can keep it kind of more neutral like this one and just have a nice clean crisp finish. That's what they call a crisp finish, is just a clean finish, you know, nothing really lingering. And it's just like, it's simple, but when you taste it, lagers to a certain degree are a bit simple. I mean, yeah, you can go to more kind of the Czech lagers and pilsners and things like that where there's a bit more complexity to the flavours, usually because of the hops and things like that, and there's a little bit more kind of bitterness at the back end. But in general, if you look at a lot of different kind of European lagers, a lot of the times is the case is though less is more is how they really kind of approach these kind of beers. Less is more of a balanced flavour. It doesn't have to be groundbreaking flavours, it doesn't have to be really intensive flavours, but just, you know, it's an easy drinking beer, so it has to be kind of easy on the intensity, but it also has to be nice on the flavours, and it has to be that kind of balance. And yeah, this is doing it. But I've had lagers in Russia that does it, I've had lagers in Holland and France that do it, I've had lagers in Germany and the Czech Republic that do it, you know, I mean, I've had lagers in Hungary, I've had basically lagers in kind of Yugoslavia. Well, I say Yugoslavia because it just covers all these countries round about and things like that, you know, so I've had lagers in all different places, and at the end of the day, they seem to understand there should be a certain level of simplicity to them, and that works. And I think that's why British lagers are failing so much. Either they just don't give it the respect it deserves and just make a kind of mass-produced piss water, or they try and make something, you know, reinvent the wheel. They try and make it more complex than it really needs to be, and they really need to kind of simplify it, keep the flavours kind of crisp and bright, And that's it, really. You know, it's not difficult. And he's like, that's the stool, by the way, because we've now got stools because we're on fucking stilts, by the way, you know. That's why I'm this high off the fucking ground, you know what I mean? Seriously. I mean, there's a ceiling up there. You know what I mean? So I'm a decent height off the ground now. Put it this way, I can just touch the floor. That's not. That's my toes scraping on the floor. I can't put my heels down. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm a decent height off it. So that's, in fact, I'll probably go even higher, will it? I'm going to be a bit higher. Oh, there we go. Back in short, as they say. Should be fucking short. Anyway. But yeah. Oh, one of the things. What was I thinking about? I was going to say something. No, I'll leave that for the next video. There's a wee bit of news there, but I'm not going to tell you now. I'm a bastard, you know what I mean? I'll tell you the next video. Sloppy Dave might actually be interested in this. I might take him back a bit of nostalgia, but I'll leave that for the Sunday video. Sunday video is going to be a Theakson's beer. Normally that would be going, but I'm going to hold back on my judgment on that one. So, what would I give this out of 10? It's actually not bad. It's actually probably better than what I thought it was going to be. But yeah, it's not got much flavour to it, but it's got a nice mouthfeel. It's got the carbonation's right. You know, and just overall, it even looks a nice beer. You know what I mean? And that's one of the big things, especially with lagers, is there's none worse. I mean, it's like any beer looking like a mill pond, but I think lagers look even more sad and dejected if it's more of a mill pond and things like that. But yeah, they've just got the flavours nicely balanced. I think they've kept it simple, and it works. It's simple as that. I'm not saying it's groundbreaking or wonderful, but yeah, it's a nice enough lager. And I'll be totally honest, if I was in a pub and they had this on the bottle and all their kind of mainstream pish waters and everything else on tap and things like that, like a good example was I've been in a few Premier Inns where they've got no ales at all, so it's either fucking Guinness or mainstream piss waters at the fucking tap. If they had bottles of this in the fridge, I'd be looking and I think, yeah, oh, probably a bottle of Tyske. Although in saying that, though, if I say Tyske to most fucking people, they'll be thinking, what the fuck is that? You know what I mean? I'd love to hear what some of the British people are pronouncing this as. Probably Tyske. But I could probably say Tyske. Tyske would be, Tyske or whatever, you know. Just imagine. But yeah, Tyske. Of course, it's Polish, which of course is based on the old Russian language, which of course the present Russian is a new form of Russian, whereas Polish is based around the old Russian language, you see, the kind of ancient Russian. So that's why. But even then, you learn these things when you live over there. You spend a lot of time, especially with the Russian language, getting lectured by Russians about it and things like that. You think, oh, fucking great, you know what I mean? You know, a lot of times you open your mouth and you really fucking regret it because you said, I'm thinking, Jesus, I'm back at school now. Jesus, I'm getting a fucking lecture on how I should be pronouncing this and pronouncing that and how you should be utilising this word, you're thinking. And the amount of times it's kind of a response is conjured up in my head of like, you can get fucked, you know what I mean? But I've always been polite, you know, and there's just, izvinichi, oh, sorry. That's gone fucking down on me. Did you see that? The fucking thing dropped on me. Fucking bastard. That still was a good one, isn't it? That's a mouse still, fuck it. It's just dropped again. It's a strange one. You put your thing on it. Look, just keep going down. That's fucking great, isn't it? Well, fuck, it's going down now. Fuck it. That went down like a jet engine. Anyway. Fuck. My still's over there. But yeah, it's fine. on the basis of that, normal mainstream petrol waters are around about the kind of between the 2, 3 and 4 kind of mark. This is more enjoyable, more drinkable. I would probably say, yeah, it's probably slightly above average with the price of it as well. The price is quite good. And it's 650, isn't it? Yeah, 650ml bottle. I think the price was just over £2 or something like that for it, you know what I mean? It'd be totally honest, it's a nice enough beer. You're getting over a pint for over £2. And it's a nice pint. So, of this type of beer, you know, I mean, it's a lager, let's be totally honest, I prefer ales, so I'm never going to overly score a lager. But if I was scoring it on the open kind of beer chart, I would say, yeah, it's a 6 out of 10. On a lager front, which, if I was scoring it just as a lager, in the lager scale, yeah, I'd probably give it an 8, 8.5. It's actually quite nice, quite drinkable, and I'd be quite happy to drink it if I was drinking lager. I mean, it'd be nice in the summer and everything else, but yeah, on the open beer kind of thing, yeah, for price wise, volume wise, flavour wise, and just drinkability, yeah, I'm going to give it a 6, just slightly above average. 6 out of 10, yeah, 5%, and yeah, it's actually quite nice. Well done, Poland. So anyway, thanks for watching, cheers, and bye for now.